My name is Julia. I live in Melbourne, Australia. I'm from Finland originally, and I haven't seen my friends and family for 818 days.
I have lived in Australia for 4 years now, and I love my life here. This is my home. This pandemic has been hard on everyone, but as a temporary resident on a student visa, Australia has been probably one of the most complicated places in the world to be in. So much has happened in the past 2 years. I've moved, got a dog, set up a business with my partner, and I'm just short of graduating from university. It's been a surreal and often sad experience of not having been able to share any of these things with my family. So as soon as I found out I was able to visit for Christmas, I booked my flights and started to slowly but cautiously get excited. And if it wasn't for the last week of November, and yep, you guessed it, Omicron, everything might have just gone to plan.
So it is Friday, the 10th of December. I am checking my phone every 15 minutes to see whether there are any news about the borders opening next Wednesday on the 15th. The National Cabinet apparently should meet today. I never thought I'd be so invested in the National Cabinet, but here we are, nervously waiting, because this will essentially determine whether I can leave or not, or whether I can leave knowing that I can come back. So the suspense is, killing me, literally. But hopefully we'll find out soon.
After 2 weeks of nervous nail biting, the borders did open on the 15th of December to temporary residents like me. But there had been so many curveballs along the way, I wasn't going to believe it till I was sitting in the plane.
Yeah, my friend made a good point that usually the expectation and anticipation of a trip overseas is like half the fun, and yeah, you'd get so much joy out of just waiting for your trip, but COVID has just butchered that. That's not happening at the moment at all. The anticipation is just anxiety on whether I can go or not. So,
and there was one more thing, surprising my mum.
The best part about this is that my mum doesn't know. Try imagine someone who you would usually see every day or every other day, and then imagine one day you just would not see them for over 2 years. And that's exactly what's happened to me and my mum. So it's a really big deal that I'm gonna see her and that she doesn't know that I'm coming, and surprising her is probably my favorite part about this trip.
When the week of leaving arrived and I was packing my things, everything felt unreal, and I couldn't believe this was actually finally happening.
It's a final swim before I leave to Finland.
So it gets a whole lot colder.
The price of having a life split between two countries means it was always hard to leave, no matter where you were leaving.
You're going away. But we're seeing 4 weeks, alright? You be good.
Bye, girl. Bye.
So we're off to the airport after an emotional goodbye to Tiger, the dog. Joey's just driving me to the airport.
Bye.
He's gonna wave.
To describe the airport as chaotic would be selling it short. I had never seen anything like this. I was there 4 hours prior, but stood in the delayed PCR line and even more delayed check-in line for the whole time, and then raced to the plane. But finally, I was on my way.
Good morning from Qatar. I've made it
over halfway after like a very chaotic start to the journey in Melbourne. Waiting for my PCR test, figuring if I was going to make it, them throwing people off the check-in line because they didn't have the right documents, just all that stuff. It was pretty stressful, and I literally just walked straight into the plane. But the flight that I just took is maybe the best flight I've ever taken. The only 2 free seats in the plane were next to me. Literally the only 2. I was like, is this the universe telling me that I'm supposed to be on this flight? I don't know. And I'm just gonna chill here for 2 hours before my final flight.
When I first saw my home from the airplane window, it felt like looking into another past life. It was so clear I saw my actual house from the plane. The past 2 years had been the hardest of my life, and while I knew the pandemic definitely wasn't over, for me it felt like an end. Flying home to Helsinki on a minus 10-degree day, just on a regular Tuesday afternoon. This is me seeing my sister for the first time in over 2 years. So we're trying to scheme what the best way to surprise my mum would be, and it's making both of us really anxious and stressed out because we don't know how she's going to react. We don't want to wait any later because we're so anxious, so we're just gonna do it now. And my mum just messaged a thumbs up that she's home, and it's freezing. And while I managed to surprise my mum, my friends managed to surprise me. For Christmas, we headed north to the Arctic Circle to ski, and for the first time, I really felt I was far away from home in Australia. I've loved just these everyday things, like knitting with my mum, seeing my friends, going to my favourite candy store, going ice swimming, going skating. All these things just feel so special. After 2 New Years spent far away from home, celebrating 2022 with friends in Finland, for the first time I actually believed that maybe, just maybe, this year would be kinder to us all.